Hello and welcome to Outlook Sports College Football Week 10 game picks and previews. We got about 8 games to get through, so let's not waste any time. If you are not subscribed, please do so. I would appreciate it very much. Costs absolutely nothing, helps out a ton. Also, make sure you are following us on our other socials, Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever, Outlook Sports. We post on there a ton. I would appreciate it very much if you gave us a follow. Alrighty. Bunch of good games. A lot of people complaining about the slate because there was a bunch of other games that were supposed to be good. If you looked at this in the preseason, like Ole Miss versus South Carolina, obviously Penn State, Ohio State, Arizona State, Iowa State, Georgia, Florida, which I think is still going to be a good game, but obviously Florida has been very short of expectations. Let's get into it. First game, Vanderbilt going to Texas. Two teams that are kind of on opposite ends in terms of like the vibe around their team just because of how they came into the season. Texas coming in as the preseason number one. Vandy was kind of just like an afterthought in the SEC. They are far from that now. Who's going to win? How are they going to win it? Texas allows pressure on almost 40% of their dropbacks, and they have 76 rushes this year of 0 or negative yards. Those are well into the hundreds in terms of comparing to other teams. So I know, and on top of that, they have a backup quarterback starting. So all this I know points directly in favor of Vanderbilt. All of Vandy's explosive plays this year have come on the ground. Okay, they do not have a pass play north of 35 yards this year. Texas allows less than 2.5 yards a carry. Vandy averages over 6 yards a carry, or I think exactly 6 yards a carry. So collision course right there. I think this game comes down to first and second down. Can Vandy stay out of third and longs? I don't think they have the guys on the outside of Eli Stowers, to convert these third and long scenarios when you're going to have guys like, Isaiah Simmons coming after you on obvious passing downs. Michael Taff is injured, the All-American safety for Texas, the quarterback of the defense, along with the quarterback of the offense and Arch. So this is tough. I really don't know. It's hard to see Texas's season being over on November 1st. It was also tough to see Texas's offense be horrible this year, so it's definitely possible. But I guess I'm just an elitist in the way that I don't see Vandy going into Texas and leaving with a win. I know Texas's offense has looked bad, but their defense coming off a brutal game versus Mississippi State, had a bad game versus Florida. There are a lot of elite athletes in that locker room who take pride in what they do. And I think this is a massive bounce back spot for them. I don't think there's a lot of points scored in this game at all. I think it's ugly. But I think Texas covers something like 21-16, 21-17, something weird, maybe like 23-17, something like that. Texas wins, Texas covers. Let's move on. Next up, Miami at SMU. This is Miami's first game of the year outside the state of Florida in week 10. Kevin Jennings coming off his worst game of the year by far at Wake Forest, 171 passing yards. It was his first game of the year without a passing touchdown. But I want to talk about the other side of the ball. SMU's defense is like the most polarizing unit you will ever see. Okay, they give up over 300 passing yards a game, which is the second worst in the FBS. But they're top 10 in sacks with 25. They have the fourth most interceptions with 12. And they only allow a 56% completion percentage. So this team just creates ways to stay in games, to put the Band-Aid on, to stop the bleeding. But what's going to be the most important part of this game, I think, is the SMU pass rush. Can Isaiah Smith and Terry Webb get home versus Inez Cooper and Francis Mauino? That's probably not how you pronounce it. Anyway, that's the story. If they can make Carson Beck uncomfortable, you know what he does when he's uncomfortable. A lot of the time he throws interceptions. SMU gets a lot of interceptions. But what I think this game actually comes down to is the time of possession. Miami is top 11 in the country with they hold the ball for over 33 minutes a game. SMU is in the 120s with like 26, 27 minutes a game. I don't think SMU is going to be able to run the ball. Their rush attack's in the hundreds. Miami's top 10 against the run. Okay, Kevin Jennings needs explosive plays, but he's excellent at that. He has 700 yards, 7 touchdowns on passes that travel 20 or more yards in the air. So they need explosives. That's obvious. I don't think they're going to have these long, sustained drives. They're just 36% on third down, SMU, and Miami allows less than a 30% conversion rate on third down. Last thing about this game I'll say before we make the pick, the health of Akeem Mesidor. I still don't know it. I think he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to be 20%, 50%, 80%, 100%. He's the other freak defensive lineman on the opposite side of Ruben Bain. So that's going to be huge. I don't see SMU really putting up a lot of points. They just came off their worst offensive performance versus Wake Forest. This is the best defense they're going to see all year. I think Miami wins. I think Miami covers. I think Miami stays rolling. And SMU, this is kind of their stab in the heart in terms of their ACC hopes. This would put them at 3-2 in the ACC. And it doesn't really look like there's any coming back from that when you have teams like Georgia Tech, Virginia, Miami. So Miami wins, Miami covers, Miami rolls. Next up, baby, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. The Georgia Bulldogs going to Jacksonville to meet with the Gators. Georgia's won 4 straight in this matchup. They've won 7 out of their last 8. Billy Gonzalez, his first game as interim head coach. This gives me Tim Skipper, Jerry Neuheisel vibes versus Penn State, where it's like, what the hell are we supposed to game plan for? I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on. Florida has zero incentive to be conservative. I expect them to try and throw the rock all over the field, especially with Georgia's very weak secondary and weak pass rush. DJ Lagway should have plenty of time to make plays downfield, which he has not had a ton of this year. But can he protect the ball when he does that? Because I think this is the game where he will have chances. He will have time to create downfield like he did in the Texas game with, Dallas Wilson and everyone else. My question is, can you protect the ball? Obviously, LSU game threw 5 picks. He's been throwing picks all year. I think they're going to trust him to throw the rock around the field. Can he take care of it? I have my questions about that. Georgia, can we still pass at this very high level that we did against Ole Miss and Tennessee without Colby Young, who's obviously injured? Looks like he's going to be out for the year. He was the primary X receiver who we kind of just tossed the ball up to and trusted to win those one-on-one matchups. Now we need old Noah Thomas. Drop the touchdown in the Alabama game. We need Dylan Bell, who was known for his drops last year, and Zachariah Branch, who's been fantastic all year. We need them to step up. We need our defense to step up, man. We need to get after this pass rush, okay? Or we need to get after the quarterback with this pass rush. Someone needs to help CJ Allen. He's one of the best defensive players in the country. He's one of the main reasons why we are still elite at stopping the run. He's great in pass coverage, but he's not a pass rusher. We need pass rush. Help out the secondary. Help out your linebackers, please. But how about Gunnar Stockton, man? This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we'll make the pick. Gunnar in the Ole Miss game attacked in the middle of the field, throwing at a different arm slots in the pocket, whipping the ball out to the flat with no windup, on top of his 7 rushing touchdowns, which leads the team, and he just has a nose for the sticks, always gets the first down when we need it. You guys know I couldn't possibly bet against Georgia. I will not. I think Georgia wins. I think Georgia covers. Georgia rolls 7-1 or 8-1. Excuse me. Or that might be, I don't know. Because we've already had 2 bye weeks, so I'm not sure if I forgot if we're 6-1, 7. Anyway, next up, the nightcap in the SEC, Oklahoma going to Tennessee in what is effectively an elimination game for the playoffs. I think there's a path where if Oklahoma loses this and they win out, a lot of other things would have to go right, but they have the hardest schedule in the country. So there's a possibility. But for all intents and purposes right now, this is an elimination game. Guys, Oklahoma has 2 freshman starting tackles. Okay? They have not been good versus Ole Miss or Texas, and now they have to go on the road to Knoxville. Is that a good place to fix out your freshman tackle problems? I don't think so. John Mateer and this offense have looked awful since he came back from the hand injury. Or not awful, but comparatively to where they were, they've looked very bad. And it's not even just all like the ball. Like it's not just his balls. All right? It's the decision making. Like last week versus Ole Miss on a 3rd and 5, you have Satanga. Hit him. He's open. That's a first down. So it's just like things like that are what have me questioning Oklahoma. On top, Xavier Robinson, guys, they found something in this rush game versus Ole Miss. I don't know if they're actually going to hand him the ball. He had like over 100 yards on like 9 carries, and they wouldn't give him the ball. I don't know what that was about. I'm hoping they give Xavier Robinson the rock. Their pass rush, which was elite at the beginning of the year, was bad versus Texas and Ole Miss. I think they had 1 sack in both games. You need to get home on Joey Aguilar. Ask Georgia. He will cook you all day long. Okay? Tennessee had 3 receivers over 100 yards last week. Chris Brazzell's probably going to play on Sundays. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And then you go to the other side, this Tennessee defense versus Oklahoma's offense. Stoppable force versus movable object. Tennessee, their defense has been bad. There is no way around it, but they've been very opportunistic. They have 5 defensive touchdowns, 13 forced fumbles. So they bend and they break, but they also make plays. They also make plays at crucial times in the game when Tennessee needs it most. I don't see it with Oklahoma. I think they're on the decline. I think Tennessee's on the incline. I think they're going to end up playing at Vandy, in Tennessee against Vandy for a spot to the college football playoff in the last week of the season. I think that's going to be awesome. I think Tennessee wins by like 2 touchdowns, honestly. I think they cover this number easily, and Tennessee rolls. Now, USC at Nebraska. Nebraska, 2 losses, had the brutal loss at Minnesota. Had the loss versus Michigan. This game to me, obviously, the odds are stacked against Nebraska. But historically, the Trojans have been very bad in the cold weather. I'm assuming it's going to be very fucking cold this weekend in Nebraska. That should help. Give the ball to Emmett Johnson, man. He is a beast. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage like every play and just still averages well over 100 yards. Like, it's got to be so annoying for him. And the same with Dylan Raiola. Give him time. Like, he's had 2 turnover-worthy plays in 4 out of the 6 Power 4 games he's played in. I don't even put that on him, man. He makes so many great plays that just pop out of the screen at you. But then there's just a bunch where like they can't get any rhythm. Like they're just calling plays to call plays because they can't get into any type of flow on offense because they can't create holes in the run game and they can't protect for their 5-star quarterback. So Emmett Johnson needs to get the ball 25 or more times. I believe I saw a stat where when he gets the ball 20 or more times, they're 2-0 versus Power 4, and I think 1-3 or maybe 1-0-2 without. Anyway, get the ball to Emmett Johnson. He's your best player on offense. In the secondary, I'm concerned. This defensive line for Nebraska has not been what we expect out of a Nebraska defensive line. Their secondary has been good. They're athletic, but it's like the same thing with Georgia. Your defensive line directly affects your secondary. If you can't get pressure, your secondary is going to struggle. This defensive line for Nebraska, I don't trust them to stop the run. I don't trust them to get pressure, and I don't trust them to even cover this line. I'm going to take USC to win, to roll, and then to potentially set up a great game versus Oregon in the coming weeks. We just got a couple more. We got Georgia Tech, NC State. Oh, all right. We got a few more. We're going to get through them. We got a handful more. Georgia Tech at NC State. Now, this Tech defense has been getting better and better each week, and NC State is more than capable on offense, all right? CJ Bailey coming off 2 bad games, but he's been great besides that, and Hollywood Smothers for NC State is a problem. That's, an all-name team or an all-name team guy. Sweet name. It's just the NC State inconsistency for me. It's just like they have a game where they look like world beaters on offense, and then they have another game where it's just like, what am I watching? And it's like Georgia Tech and NC State are such opposites. It's like Georgia Tech makes all the plays in the crucial moments on 3rd and short, on 4th and short, on 2nd and long, on like these crucial plays in the game. NC State just never. They never get any important plays. It's like they're allergic to it. They're 1 for 7 on 4th down in their last 3 games. So NC State is just like the anti-Georgia Tech, but they have a very good offense at times. I don't trust them. I think the line is 5.5. I'll take NC State to cover, but Georgia Tech is going to find a way to win this game. Actually, this is gross. Whatever. Yeah, I'll take NC State to cover. Georgia Tech's going to win, though. I have no doubt about that. Next, this is my favorite game of the weekend. Navy at North Texas. If you've seen my AP poll videos, I get very mad when I talk about the disrespect the AP polls put on Navy. 8-0, electric wins, beat the shit out of FAU last week, had an electric win at Temple the week before, or I think they had a bye week in that. Anyway, these are two very contrasting styles, obviously. You got by air and by land when you're talking about Navy, who runs the ball north of 70% of the time. But like they have a good design on offense. Like it's not just a triple option, like they'll hit Eli out of the backfield on some, weird route, who is an absolute weapon. Okay. I have concerns with North Texas. They had real problems versus USF with the running quarterback of Byron Brown, who was just doing whatever they wanted all game. That makes me nervous. But also, I don't think Navy can do through the air to you what USF could, which opened up a lot of the stuff on the ground. But I love the balance of North Texas. I don't love the pass defense of Navy. I don't think they can keep up with the weapons that North Texas has on the outside. This game is going to be so fun to watch. I think the total is like 66.5. There's going to be a ton of points. I'll take North Texas. I think North Texas wins this game for sure. Maybe a little backdoor cover scenario with Navy. I'll take them to cover the 6.5. I think North Texas wins though, but I'll take Navy to cover. Two more. Stay with me. Cincy at Utah. 8.5? 8.5 for this Utah team that just lost to BYU. They just rolled through Colorado. That shit was ugly. But Cincy's been rolling, man. How about no turnovers for Brendan Sorsby since the week 1 Nebraska game? Or no interceptions. I'm not sure if he has a fumble or not. I don't think so. What I'm concerned about is the health of Devon Dampier. That could be a very real problem if they get down. I do not trust him to have to throw them back into this game. And then if he gets hurt, I do not trust their backup at all. He's even worse of a thrower than Dampier. But I don't think they're going to get down. I don't think Cincinnati's going to be able to handle the Utah O-line. I think they are more physical, more dominant. I trust them more. I trusted Utah so much to win the BYU game. For me, for Brendan Sorsby, like he's been great. And a lot of people are like, he should be in the Heisman conversation. He should be in this, which I don't disagree with. But like, this is the time to insert yourself in the Heisman conversation. On the road, an 8.5-point underdog. If you want people to start talking about it, you got to will your team to victory here. Find a way to win on your back. That's how you get the call to New York. All right. Yeah. But I don't think Cincy is going to have many answers for this Utah O-line. I want Cincy to win. If this line goes up anymore, I'll probably take Cincy. But at 8.5, I'll take Utah to cover at home. Actually, fuck that. Fuck that. No. Cincy plus 8.5. Give me Brandon Sorsby. I'm rolling with the boys. I trust them. Last and probably least, Penn State going to the Horseshoe. Poor Grunkmeyer, man. I mean, his first 2 starts at Kinnick, playing that Iowa defense, and then at the Horseshoe. I mean, my God, that sucks. Okay, my question in this game, how is Penn State scoring? There's a word on the street that they put in a whole new offense this week. That's the face if you're an Ohio State fan that I just made right there. And the thing with Penn State is like they have so many good players on defense who are probably going to play on Sundays, but everyone's scoring on them. And it seems like they've taken the training wheels off of Julian Sayin. He looks like a top 3 quarterback in the country. They have by far and away the best receiving core in the country. If they can just run the ball a little bit better than they have been, I would have no doubt they're going to win the national championship. I already don't really have a doubt they're going to win it. I'm pretty confident they're going to go back to back. This game is just can Ohio State cover? It's 20.5. If it was 21.5, obviously you get the 3 touchdowns and the hook. I would feel really good about that. Obviously, Vegas knows that. They're not giving that to you. I just don't have much to hang my hat on with Penn State. I know it feels like everyone's on Ohio State this week. But I mean, I think Ryan Day wants to prove a point to Jim Knowles. He fucking hates that guy, and I think he's going to run it up if he gets the chance. I'll take Ohio State to cover. Ohio State, obviously, to win, make a statement at home, keep rolling in the Big 12. They're going to be playing Indiana in the Big 12 championship here soon enough. That is it. Week 10 picks and previews. If you guys stayed till the end, thank you so much. Please subscribe. Helps us out a bunch. If you like the mic, the Dunkin' Donuts mic, go on Instagram, TikTok, X. Give us a follow. Outlook Sports. Thank you guys. Love y'all. Peace out.